the purpose of this video is to show you how to program HTI acoustic tags using our Model 490 acoustic tag programmer, our acoustic tag programming software on a laptop computer, and our Model 291 acoustic tag receiver to verify that the tags are transmitting the correct period and subcode rates after we program them. So to begin, here we have our Model 490 tag programmer, which is powered on by this adapter cable here. We know that the programmer is on because the red LED light in the back is on. A little bit about the interface of the programmer. First, we have our sensitivity knob right here. If we turn the knob to the right, we see that our pulse detect button goes on. Before we start programming tags, we want to make sure that we turn the knob right so the light goes on, and then back left just so the light goes off and stays off. And that's the best setting to use before we begin programming. Right here we have our cable connectors, which we would use if we wanted to attach an oscilloscope to the programmer. This white part on top right here is our programming coil, which attaches to the device like so. Before we begin, we want to make sure that the coil is filled about halfway with water, because when we do program the tags, we will be placing the tags inside the coil, and the signal is transmitted much better through water than without. Moving on to our tag programming software on the computer here, the first thing we want to make sure of is that we have our correct COM port selected right here. This is how the programmer is attached to the computer via this serial cable, and right now we are in COM port 3. It's important to make sure you have the correct one, because this is how the computer and the programmer talk to one another to transmit the data. In these fields here, we have all of our tag settings. Right here, our period, which is 2061 as we speak. Our subcode right here, 16. And we have pulse width settings here. These settings can be manually input before we begin programming a tag, or to make matters easier, we can come down here and open a tag settings file. This makes things a lot easier, especially when programming multiple tags in sequence. So we click open file, we locate our tag settings file on our hard drive and double click to open. And then we can see in this window here that we now have a list of available tag settings which can be programmed onto the tags. Now going to our HTI acoustic tags right here. It's important to handle these tags very carefully. They can be damaged if not handled the correct way. We are using this little device, it's kind of like a straw, to hold the tags. We don't want to be using forceps or tweezers, as those can damage the coating on the tag and significantly decrease the lifespan of the tag. So we're ready to begin programming this first acoustic tag right here. What we want to do is make sure that the clear transducer end is facing down, and we place the tag into the programming coil like so. To program this tag, all I have to do is go here and select the first available settings, and then we see our fields populate: period 2005, subcode 6. So the next step is to come here and click where it says program, and when I do so, you can see the pulse detect button flash green and then begin to flash at the period rate that we programmed the tag with. In this window right here, we see a history of our actions. So this first line just states that we programmed this tag with this period and this subcode. I will remove this tag from the coil and very gently place it in this bucket of water here, because after we program both of our tags, I will be showing you how to use this hydrophone connected to our acoustic tag receiver to verify that the tags are correctly programmed and transmitting the way we want them to. So moving on to tag 2, I will do just the same thing. Very gently place it in our little straw. Place it clear end down into the coil. And on my software, this time I will select the second available tag settings option and come here and click program. Again, you see the Pulse Detect button flash and then begin to flash constantly at the rate of the period. So I'll place tag 2 in the water along with tag 1. So now that we've programmed our tags, we want to use our acoustic tag software to verify that they are transmitting correctly. And I'll do that by opening up acoustic tag. And we have already set up our system with the hydrophone and our receiver here. So all I need to do is come to this button right there that says enable. And when I click that, I begin to see data transmitting right here, tag 1 and tag 2. Now the purpose of this is to verify the periods and subcodes. So first we're going to look at the periods of each of these tags. And how I do this is I can come down right here to this little button that says period histogram in the lower left. When I click that, the period histogram is displayed here. Now as I move my mouse from left to right and back, there's a number right here that currently says 1000. That's the period of where my mouse is placed. You can see that change as I move the mouse from left to right. So I'll zoom in on our 2 primary pulses right here, and as I move my mouse to where pulse 1 is, I see that lines up and the number says 2005, which was the period of the first tag. When I come to the second primary pulse and line that up, I now see the number reading 2033, which was the period of the second tag we programmed. So this means our periods are transmitting just fine. The next step is we want to check the subcodes of the tags. So right next to the period histogram button, we have this button that says subcode histogram. We click that and we get our subcode histogram displayed on the bottom. And on the bottom of the histogram we have all the subcodes listed 1 through 31 here. And we can see our 2 primary pulses. First pulse here is at 6, which was the subcode of our first tag. And the second primary pulse is right here at 31, which was the subcode of the second tag we programmed. So this means that both of our tags are programmed correctly and transmitting data in the water to our hydrophone, receiver, and just the way we want them to. I will disable the data and close out of acoustic tag. There's one more step we want to show you, and that's how to put the tags into sleep mode after being used. This will prolong the life of the tag tremendously. So just like before, I'll grab my first tag, place it in my little straw holder, and like before with the transducer end down, place this into the programming coil. and we see, like before, the pulse detect button flashing at the period rate because that tag is currently programmed. To put it to sleep, all I need to do is go to my software here and click the button that says sleep. And once I do that, we see the pulse detect button go off and stay off because that tag has been put in sleep mode. So onto our second tag. Place it in the straw. Place it transducer end down into the programming coil. We see our pulse detect button flashing because the tag is programmed. And in the tag programming software, we click sleep, and we see the detect button go off. Sometimes the pulse detect button will not go off right away, and that just means that it didn't work that time, and you just need to click the sleep button again or as many times as it takes until you see the pulse detect button go off, indicating the tag is in sleep mode. So that concludes our video. We've shown you how to program HTI acoustic tags using our Model 490 acoustic tag programmer, our acoustic tag programming software, and our Model 291 acoustic tag receiver.